Hello, my name is Olga Bazanova and welcome to our class. Today we will paint a picture. It will be a waterfall, flowing water, sunny weather. You can take any canvas that suits your proportions. I took a canvas 50 by 80, but a canvas 40 by 60, 30 by 40, or any elongated format. First, I will show you the paints that I will use. These are oil paints. You can use acrylic, but acrylic paints need to be squeezed onto the palette in a smaller amount so that it doesn't dry out. I use white, any white paint will do. Cadmium yellow light. You can use any yellow color. Cadmium red light. You can also use any red color. Mars orange, quinacridone violet pink can be replaced with any pink, for example, magenta or any cold pink. Blue FC, grass green, you can use any green color, but not too bright. Green FC, indigo, you can replace it with black paint. I also use thinner. You can use any thinner that exists for oil painting. In the first layer, I apply a thinner to the canvas so that the canvas does not dry out. If your primer strongly repels paint, you cannot wet it. Let's start doing the right markup. I take a beveled brush, thinner, a little blue FC, and outline the line where the waterfall will end. We outline the place. If we divide the canvas into 3 parts, then this part that we have outlined will be on 1/3 of the canvas. Leave a small space at the top and go down. In this part, which is shifted to the right, there will be a waterfall. The waterfall is shifted to the right because this way to composition will look more interesting. There will be sky. This markup is enough. I take the white and thinner and sketch the color here. Done. We take a little yellow and make a smooth transition to yellow. And gradually the transition to red. Gentle pink shades are obtained. Now we take red and brown and move on. Now I take blue and red and white. It turns out a muted lila-gray color. We paint over this shade here, this upper part. In the first layer of the painting, it is very important to use a small amount of paint. I take a wet napkin, fold it like this, dip it in thinner, take white and add a little bit of blue paint. And with touches, we create distant plants. Air has color, and in our picture, the air has a blue tint. And some pink shades. This cadmium red, light and warm shade. You need this color to be very gentle. I take white and quite a bit of pink and make such a movement from top to bottom. Each time we wipe the brush, as I do in the video, we get the sun's rise in the background. Before each touch of the brush with the canvas, I wipe the brush because only a clean brush can do this effect. Then I stretch the blue shades with the same brush. On the right side, we have a tree. I take brown and dark blue, and we get pale wood. The brush should be held like this, bristles down. Then you will get thin, long branches. Now we take a fan brush, blue, yellow, and a little generic paint. And create foliage in this area. You can add some green. The fan brush shows the direction of the branches. Now we take a yellow, white, grassy green, and building brush. We create lightness and airiness of the foliage. From this side, the foliage is lit by the sun. The next piece. We take the napkin again, dip into the solvent, take indigo, pink, and white. On the previous paint layer, add more shades. First with a napkin, then soften the transition with a brush. A few more branches through brown and indigo. Now we take several identical round brushes. It is better to take 3 or 4 of them. We put the pile in one length. Take the green FC and yellow. And we create strokes. With several brushes, the movements turn out to be more natural. The entire background. To do this, I take indigo and brown. I close the left part through brown colors with a thin layer without whitewash. I remove excess paint with a napkin. This area through cadmium red and indigo. We go from top to bottom. This section through the grassy green, we will need it. Brown, pink, and indigo. neatly darking. We take a solvent, indigo and brown, and with a napkin we create roughness and irregularities. Here are the main stones. Now our task is to make underpainting on the water. I take green FC, blue FC and white. It turns out a bright color, blue, a little green and white. Don't try too hard. You need to paint over this whole part. We will work with shades a little later. Paint it over this area and you need to let it dry. Now we will write a distant plan. I take yellow, dark green and some white. I'm working with a construction brush now, loose bristless. With the edge of the brush, we create a texture. On the left side, a little more white. There will be waterfalls here. We need to be down very carefully, and for this you can use a fan brush. The waterfalls will not be pure white. We will add blue paint to the white. In the background, we see a flowing waterfall. Do not take a lot of paint. Take more thinner. A multi-stage waterfall. This paint can be removed with a napkin. Light grassy green, indigo and blue. will be very sunny. Blue FC, a little pink. We take a white. We got a big. A few more strokes. Shades of shadows. Pink and white. Or velvet brush and through brown, through blue, pink, so that the stones are not too bright. In contrast to the wall on the right, this wall is shady. We take brown, blue, and red. The color should be natural, not too dark, with a slight roughness. Finished. Here too, on convex stones. Dark blue and a little white. There are also plants between the stones. Finished. White, a little pink, a little blue tint. White and a little pink. We remove excess splashes and we get haze. We look at where we need to add. Lighter shades on the trunk. Palette knife on the edge and lower the palette knife down without pressure. Now we take a fan brush and Blue FC. Create in the direction of the water. We work only in the lower, making water here, a huge amount of water. We add white very carefully so as not to lubricate the previous sections. Before each movement, it is better to rinse the brush. Water brown, yellow, and red. We make ovals underwater. We take whitewash and a palette knife and create water movements to the side.